Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're looking at the value chain model or value chain analysis or value chain framework as part of our internal environmental analysis. We're looking at the value chain model as part of our internal environmental analysis. What is a value chain? A value chain is used to describe all the business activities it takes to create a product from start to finish. So we're talking about all the activities from design to production, distribution, sales and marketing, and extra sales services. The ultimate goal of a value chain analysis is to pin down the practices and processes that differentiate a firm from its competitors, for better or for worse. So the aim, like we have said in the preamble, is to identify areas or activities within our firm that we can use as competitive advantage, or that can be used, or that can be seen as strengths or weaknesses. So Michael Porter devised a value chain model to aid identification of activities within the firm that contribute to its competitive advantage and those that do not. Competitive advantage is a set of unique features of a firm and its products that are perceived by the target market as significant and superior to competition. So competitive advantage can be high quality of the product. Competitive advantage can be superior technology that a company has, or it can be skilled manpower that a company has. For a firm to gain competitive advantage, it must either perform value creation functions at a lower cost than its competitors, or perform value-adding activities in a manner that results in differentiation and a premium price. So there are two ways of looking at the competitive advantage. You can look at it from a cost leadership point of view or from a differentiation point of view. When we talk about cost leadership, we are talking about the firm being the least cost producer in the industry. And when we talk about differentiation, we're talking about the firm being different, like the Zambia Center for Accounting Studies, ZICAS, or the German car makers. They're different. Or if you talk about ShopRite, they're using cost leadership to compete. They have lower prices. What is value chain analysis? Value chain analysis is a strategic process where a firm evaluates its internal activities to identify how each contributes to a firm's competitive advantage. So we are looking at the inbound logistics, we are looking at the production, we are looking at outbound logistics, that's the distribution, we are looking at sales and marketing, we are looking at after-sales services. Value is the amount that buyers are willing to pay for what the firm provides them and is measured by total revenue. So customers give us money in exchange for value that we provide. As TVTC students, you are paying TVTC in exchange for value that TVTC provides. Now, what is the makeup of a value chain model? So a value chain model is made up of two sets of activities. We have primary activities and secondary or supporting activities. So we have inbound logistics and primary activities. We have operations, we have outbound logistics, sales and marketing, and after service. Then under support activities or secondary activities, we have firm infrastructure, we have human resource management, we have technology development and procurement. So if you have to zero in for a manufacturing company, the value chain will look like this. So under inbound logistics, you have raw materials handling and warehousing. Under operations, that is converting raw materials into finished products, we have machining, assembling, testing products. Outbound logistics, we have warehousing and distribution of finished products. Under sales and marketing, we have advertising, promotion, pricing, channel and channel relations. Then after sales service, you have installation, repair parts. So we're talking about installation and maintenance. Then under firm infrastructure, we have general management, we have accounting, finance, and strategic planning. Then under human resource management, we have recruiting, training, and development. Then we have technology development, you have research and development, you have product and process improvement. These make up the supporting activities. So the idea is, in these activities, where are we strong? Which ones are our key success areas or critical success factors? You find that if you're in the soft drinks industry, your success factor could be distribution. Just like if you're in cement, you are in meat meal, you are in beer, you need to have a strong distribution capability and also strong sales and marketing. That's why I've seen Zambian breweries, they are very strong in distribution and they're also strong in sales and marketing because they have realized that for them to succeed, they need to be strong in these two areas. Then we have other companies, for example, Mount Choice. After sales service is the key. Apart from operations where they are giving you movies, they are giving you football matches, but also when my decoder is not working, I need to get in touch. I need to be helped by Mount Choice. The idea is, if you have to compete with Mount Choice, we need to be good at after sales service. We need to be good at content, operations, movies, latest movies. We need to show these 5 big leagues of Europe: the German Bundesliga, the Spanish Premier League, the English Premier League, the French Ligue 1, so that we can compete with the merchants. So under primary activities of inbound logistics involving receiving, handling, and storage of inputs to the production process. They include warehousing, transport, and inventory control. Operations, we're talking about converting inputs to final products. Then we have outbound logistics, which is essentially product and distribution to customers. So talking about warehousing and the packaging. Then we have sales and marketing. We're talking about informing, persuading, and enabling customers to purchase the product. Then we have after sales service, which revolve around the installation, repair, and upgrading of products, as well as the provision of spare parts. So these make up the primary activities of the value chain model. Then we have support activities, firm infrastructure. So we're talking about planning, we're talking about finance and control. Then we have HR, human resource management. We're talking about recruiting, training, developing, and rewarding people. Procurement, which entails the acquisition of raw materials or resources to primary activities. Then we talk about technology, which refers to product design, processes, improvements, and resource utilization improvements. Now, what does it mean to say conducting a value chain analysis? So performing a value chain analysis depends on whether the firm wants to create a cost competitive advantage or differentiation competitive advantage. So in other words, we are saying there are 2 ways to compete. We can compete using what is known as cost leadership competitive strategy, which is all about being the least cost producer in the industry, or we can compete using differentiation, meaning we are different. And when we are different, customers must pay more to us because they perceive us as different. You know, being different is a matter of perception. People are paying more for their children at the Zambia Center for Accounting Studies, ZICAS, or to Excel American University in Lusaka because they think those 2 institutions are different from the other institutions of higher learning in Zambia. So we have to make a choice. Remember, strategy is about being different. Strategy is about making a choice. Strategy is about saying we are going to go this route and not this route. So we have to decide as management of a firm whether we want to compete using the cost leadership, lowest or least cost producer, or want to be different. So if we talk about the cost advantage or cost leadership approach, we have to identify the firm's primary and support activities, determine the relative importance of each activity in the total cost of the product, determine the cost drivers of for each activity, identify the relationship between activities, determine the opportunities for cost reduction. So if we are running a restaurant, where can we reduce costs? If we are running a restaurant, where can we reduce costs? Is it that when we are procuring raw materials? Let's say we are procuring village chicken from Mpongo, from Masaiti, or from Chibombo. Can we reduce costs there at the sourcing of raw materials? If it's possible, we can do that. Because it may be difficult once if we are buying chickens, village chickens, or we are buying goats at a higher price, then it will be very difficult for us to reduce the price of our meals. Or if you want, we can say, where do we buy our meal meal? Is it possible to start our own farm and grow our own meal meal, our own maize, so that we produce our own meal meal as the way of reducing costs? So we need to look at the entire production process, the entire value chain. How do we create value? Where can we reduce costs? So you find that some companies have their own trucks. They distribute. Look at Dangote. Dangote has managed to reduce costs by having its own trucks. Dangote also is making its own electricity by getting coal from Mamba in Southern Province. And so they use coal to make electricity as a way of reducing the cost of production of cement. Then if we talk about the differentiation approach, how can we be different? Look at the German car makers. Their difference is in engineering superiority. They are superior. German cars you can drive German cars at 200 kilometers per hour. So they have decided to look at the engineering part of it, to say our cars are better than any other car, so pay more. So we need to identify, just like if we are running a pay TV station, how can we be different? Maybe we can talk about content to say, with our TV station, we have the best content. Look at the local TV stations. We have Diamond, we have Movie, we have Prime TV. How are they trying to compete? Are they using differentiation? Means that they have maybe the best content, or they have the best news coverage. So try to find out what matters to our customers. How can we be different? How can we reduce costs? Then we come to the benefits of value chain analysis. It enhances the competitiveness of firms. So once we have identified where we are strong, once we have identified which areas of value chain we can use to be competitive, you can work on that and enhance your competitiveness. If it is distribution, like if we're making meal, if you are in Rwanda, we need to find a way of cheaply distributing our meal throughout the country, or distributing to Angola or the DRC. It also leads to reduction in the firm's costs. Like I'm saying, we can identify within the value chain which activities, where can we reduce costs? Is it inbound logistics? Is it production or operations? Is it outbound? Where can we reduce costs? It results in the improvement of the firm's market share. So if we are competitive, then we can increase our market share. It also improves the overall profitability of the firm, because we're talking about competitiveness here. The more competitive a firm is, the more profitable it will be. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the value chain analysis, and I've stated that this is an internal environmental analysis tool. It helps firms to identify strengths and weaknesses. It also helps firms to identify means of competing. Are they going to compete using cost leadership? Are they going to compete using differentiation? So from our analysis of how we create value or our value chain, we can identify whether we compete using cost or compete using differentiation. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you.